Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Transformers? Yes, hello, here we go again. It is the Can We Talk About podcast, doing a little paleontology here, a little digging in the dinos, and ending up stuck firmly in the dinosaur-created crevice that is a robotic romp through a series of Might and Metal. Actual 80s cartoon classic, The Transformers. Me, Joe, always follow strongest leader. Always. Me, Joe.
Me, Kristen. We'll listen to Joe. Me, Kristen.
And we are watching the Transformers Generation 1 via Tubi, a free video streaming service with intermittent commercials. Now, Kristen, I often joke about what is available on Tubi, but they added Lucha Underground, which is basically, so it's a wrestling show.
Makes sense.
But it's also got elements of your general weekly Dynasty TV. How do we refer to it these days? The Breaking Bads of the world? It's not Breaking Bad by any stretch, but it's fun.
What is it? Must-see television?
That was Thursday on NBC in the 90s, I believe.
Cool. Why you ask me questions if you just reject my answers?
Oh, and they also Failure to Launch.
Fantastic. I remember what the poster for that looks like.
Kristen, have you been watching anything fun on the various streaming platforms over the past few weeks?
I've been pretty busy because I'm in a new apartment again now. This is how many places I've lived since we started this fucking podcast?
9.5, I'd say.
Yeah, we're getting close to 30, I think. But I did watch the first episode of Good Omens because I'd heard that was good, and that looked pretty good. Otherwise, I have been sleeping so much because I quit my job. It rules! I've
been kind of jumping forward into the future and checking out just random episodes of later Transformers things.
You're spoiling it for yourself, Joe.
I am spoiling it for myself, and
at one point you're gonna let it slip that, like, later Starscream becomes a ghost or something.
Oh my god, Kristen, how crazy would that be?
That would be insane!
This week, we are gonna have ourselves a war, Kristen. It is a war of the Dinobots, which includes Dinobots warring with Autobots, with Decepticons, and with Dinobots!
Hey, the title was a little bit more literal than I was expecting. I wasn't sure what it was getting at, but no, them Dinobots fight.
And this is basically an episode that I kind of expected SOS Dinobots to be. The Dinobots get some actual personality. I say personality. They get...
They talk.
They talk. They do a little bit of talking.
So that's great. We're getting places with them. And they try to establish character traits for 3 of them. Like 2 words, but hey.
Yeah, Megatron boils it down later, which we'll talk about.
That's more than Mirage has.
So, Kristen, let's munch metal.
I'm ready.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
War of the Dinobots, written by Donald F. Glut, and as such, Kristen, in the style of Donald F. Glut, this episode is now known as SOS Meteor.
I didn't expect the meteor to be a thing. Is that like a dinosaur death reference?
I think they just needed something science-y. And I'm gonna, Kristen...
A big glowy rock.
A big glowy rock. I know that meteor and its various forms of, like, well, it's in the atmosphere, it's a meteor, right? But when it's on Earth, it's a meteorite? How does that work? I forget.
I'm sorry, did you say it's a meteor, right?
Fuck it, meteor. SOS Meteor.
I don't give a shit.
We started in the same observatory from Universal Appeal, where the guy looks in the telescope and sees pizzazz made of constellations.
And here's the thing. We got our Chip Chase back.
Tiger Beat Heartthrob Chip Chase is here, doing some telescoping.
He sees pizzazz out in the atmosphere, which kind of freaks his shit a little bit, but a meteor quickly catches his attention.
Dr. Labcoat is here as well for 2.5 seconds.
Wow!
We learn his name is Jeff.
Jeff Labcoat.
Dr. Jeff Labcoat.
Sounds great.
So, Chip's line read here at the beginning, too. I've never seen a more bigger or weirder meteor. It's not exactly that, but it's big.
Chip... You're supposed to be the smart one.
We gotta call the Autobots, first of all, because they're the only ones who could save Earth from this meteor, even though they don't do anything like that.
So here's a question. So Chip just finds this meteor.
Yes.
And it lands, it seems like, later that night.
Yes.
No one else saw that fucking thing? Seems like it was probably pretty big.
We cut to the Autobots rolling up here as Chip says that they're the only ones who could save Earth. Spike is with them, of course, because he needs to get hit by the meteor and killed. He's just like, oh, I volunteered to be murdered by the meteor.
I'm ready to get some weird space superpowers.
And he's happy that he doesn't have to worry about the Decepticons on this mission.
Oh, Spike! Spike, you did it!
If only you knew. Pessimist Prime as well here, Kristen. He's always worried about the Decepticons.
I think Optimus just has anxiety.
Autobots, transform, which they already rolled out, so there's no need to say that part.
Nope, so we see part of the squad transforming out. I kind of recognized some of them.
Well, I think you should know who Wheeljack is at this point.
I do. Ears.
I think you should know who Ironhide is at this point.
Yes. Ratchet is white.
Ratchet is white Ironhide, yes. And Hound is the one who gave Spike a back massage.
Hound is the one I keep getting either messed up with Prowl or the other way around.
Here's where Chip reveals, Kristen, that the meteor, yes, will be hitting tonight, but also like 30 feet from the observatory.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's convenient then. They did so much traveling last episode.
Optimus ponders here. His fist crackles. He's just like, I wonder what sort of powerful energy this meteor has.
Oh my god, he's going mad with power.
So Optimus's plan is they are going to go and protect the meteor. Well, first of all, they're not going to destroy the meteor before it enters the atmosphere and hits the Earth.
Weird, Joe. That's what I thought the plan was.
They're going to let it hit the Earth, and then Optimus says, thankfully Ratchet and Wheeljack are here, because Optimus is like, didn't you guys... Oh yeah, shit, the Dinobots, who are really powerful and can murder all of us. Let's bring them to the meteor, too, how about?
That would be a great idea. So I guess the plan was, let's go to where the meteor is going to fall, make sure it doesn't hit anyone, and then we'll break off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
We cut to the Decepticons here. Megatron is watching file footage of the Decepticons getting their asses kicked by the Dinobots, and he's not happy about it.
I wonder if that's because he's mad that they got the shit kicked out of them in Peru also, and that's too fresh. So he's like, let's go back to that other thing. We'll see where we can improve upon our performance as far as the Dinobots go. And
Kristen Starscream is just like, improve on performance? Megatron, we were brilliant in battle. It's just the fact that the Dinobots are fucking rampage monsters and can destroy all of us very easily.
Isn't that kind of the same thing as getting your shit kicked in?
Brilliant, my boron compressor.
Ew.
Muses Megatron. Is that like a stomach? Is that a colon?
I imagine colon.
So he's saying, brilliant, my ass.
I love it.
Megatron has the plan.
Okay.
He's going to find the weaknesses of the Dinobots in order to beat them in battle. They have soft spots, as it were, even though they are made of metal.
Yeah, well, metaphorical soft spots.
And only one man is ready for this job, and that man is Soundwave.
Reconnaissance expert Soundwave.
So the shot lingers on Soundwave for about 2.5 seconds after this, too, and he's just, he just like, gotcha, Megatron. Beat.
I guess maybe Soundwave perhaps had a line there. Rhino?
Kristen, you seem very convinced that Rhino has a problem of not adding in lines of dialogue to these that were possibly there in the original Masters, and not just that the scripts are about 3.5 pages long, so they need to fill it with a bunch of other action.
Who knows? Maybe I'm giving the original writers too much credit, but it really seems like, especially with how they hold sometimes, there definitely could have been a little quip or two in there that could have moved shit along a bit.
I believe, Kristen, Donald F. Glutt, in interviews and things, talked very frankly about how writing Transformers, like the process of it, where he would turn in like first drafts of scripts and they would already start storyboarding it. Like, wait, no, you don't want to read it?
That explains so much.
They had to fucking Toys R Us shelves, Kristen. We don't
have time!
So Soundwave is now skulking around where the Autobots are hanging out, which thankfully the meteor...
Sneaking in big robot form with his back pressed against the wall, like...
Like people aren't going to hear the machinery whirring, yes.
They don't!
So Soundwave transforms into tape recorder form here and wiggles out his little weird microphone
his favorite little damn instrument from SOS Dinobots.
That we previously saw. We thought he could only use it for dam plans, but here we are, Kristen, for meteor plans.
I know, so they're diversifying, which is really great, and I encourage it.
And now 2 humans are in danger as the Autobots arrive, because Chip is like, hey, I'm glad you let me come and see the meteor hit things too, because I know Spike wants to get hit by it, but I saw it, so I should get hit by it first.
So, like, did Sparkplug have other plans?
Sparkplug is just hanging out at the Autobot base being a grumpy idiot who is stupid in this episode?
I don't know.
His defining character trait in this episode is that he's a dumbass.
I mean, he doesn't have much else to work with.
Spike makes a joke that they will name the meteor after Chip. Meteorini Chipperoni.
Pepperoni and cheese pizza.
The pepperoni meteor. Delicious.
So tasty. Tombstone, because he'll be dead.
Nobody laughs. Not at that joke, because the tombstone joke is good, but
Thanks.
nobody laughs at Spike's joke, mostly because the meteor shows up in the atmosphere and is going to murder all of them.
Yeah, so they're just hanging around this meteor's splash zone.
Why did I give a meteor murderous intent?
I mean, it seems weirdly sinister for a MacGuffin.
Everyone takes cover as the meteor lands here. The humans are still in danger, but Ironhide kind of shields, bridges himself over Chip and Spike. And
I'll save you from the debris.
And once again, it takes about 2.5 seconds of silence before Chip is like, whoa! And now I understand why he's called Ironhide.
Do you think Ironhide was like, I know, Chip, you've said that to me before. I know what my name is, why don't you?
I've got a steel ass, what of it?
Shut up.
Optimus says to be careful around the meteor, because it might contain new and dangerous energy, before taking out his ion blaster and shooting a circular piece of meteor off of the meteor.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be a little bit more careful with it, but they might as well just, again, break off a piece, put it in their mouth, save it in their tummy for later. And by new energy, I think they mean radiation.
Wheeljack also catches it like the bouquet at a wedding.
Oh, wow, this is so unexpected, but I guess I'm next.
Next to be exploded by a meteor.
It's my dream come true.
So the Dinobots are left to guard the meteor here, Kristen, by themselves.
Joe, why didn't they leave anyone with a brain?
That's a very good question, Kristen, and you'd think that they might learn their lesson after this episode, but I know from watching episodes in the future, Dinobots get left in charge of pretty important things at least one other time.
That's great. You know, this is a sensitive situation. We don't want anyone who's susceptible to coercion. Hey, Grimlock.
You and your buddies, watch the meteor, please.
I think now there's 5 of you. Perfect. That means you'll have almost half a brain.
They're almost one Aja.
Almost one Aja.
So we get a shot of Optimus transforming that I swear is recycled animation. And Chip has his spark plug moment here where he, after that recycled piece of animation, he goes, "There's so many times that I've seen it, it's still outrageous."
Truly?
Truly, truly.
Outrageous. I miss you, Kimber. Rest in peace.
He also gives a sassy snap of his fingers when it happens.
What if Kimber were Chip Chase?
She might have a full brain, Kristen.
Maybe. Who knows?
Optimus also does say transform and roll out here, but it's broken up by Chip's snappy fingers, truly outrageous line in the middle, so it doesn't count.
So then just a little.
So, Kristen, because the Dinobots were quiet and didn't kill anybody, Optimus is like, you know, I'm very impressed with the Dinobots now. I'm gonna have Wheeljack and Ratchet make specifically two more!
I'm feeling... How many more could we use? Maybe 2. 2 seems like a good number.
Kristen, if they could create Transformers just when the fuck ever, why don't they?
I guess maybe the limitation is they can only make stupid Transformers, which if you make too many of those, that would be a problem. There's already so many fucking dumb ones.
You're right, that intelligence is very hard to come by when you're a Transformer, it seems.
You want more cliff jumpers?
You want more Skywarps?
Let's just keep piling them on.
Chip and Spike want to help too, of course, in creating these new dinosaurs, so...
Chip Chase wants to play God.
We get a transition, and Chip is telling the Autobots here what they should base the next 2 Dinobots on. First, we got Stegosauri here.
Is this not a child's dream? Make robot dinosaurs, and I get to pick which ones.
Tyrannosaurus... Oh, you already got one.
Okay.
What about a Triceratops? No, Stegosaurus is the first one. Then we got...
What's a pterodon?
A pterodon is a bigger pterodactyl, I think?
Okay.
Or pteranodon?
I thought pterodactyls were pretty good.
I mean, Chip is right. He's just like, okay, so the Autobots need more flying power, so here's a pteranodon. And...
Sure. Do you think Skyfire's like, huh?
Still hanging out in Peru or in the ice or somewhere. Not in this episode.
He's in a hot spring. He's just chilling.
And then Sparkplug goes, Stego what's-its and Tyranno who's-its?
Aw, Dad.
He thinks it's very impressive that Chip knows what dinosaur... He goes, is there anything you don't know, Chip? When Kristen, Spike was the one who gave the inspiration for the first set of Dinobots, so...
He gave him a whole rundown of what dinosaurs were, not just tossing out names.
So, Kristen, I think Sparkplug wishes Chip was his son.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Ba-na-na-na-na.
Yeah!
Back at the meteor, Soundwave starts brain scanning the Dinobots. And Kristen, the Dinobots are speaking out loud, so he did not need to brain scan them.
Oh, they are? I just assumed they were talking out loud in their brains.
I was going to say, I can see their mouth plates moving when it happens, so...
So someone was an idiot when it comes to animating this.
Basically, here's the rundown. Slag goes, me Slag want fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, go fight. Kiniku men go fight.
Sounds good.
Grimlock goes, Optimus is strong, but I'm stronger.
And Sludge is just like, I will follow whoever is strongest.
Whoever is leader. That's it.
He's a fame fucker.
A dick rider, yes.
Yes, absolutely. An ass muncher.
They do munch metal, Kristen, and metal asses. And Starscream was mostly ass, so...
Joe, I haven't had a job for like 2 weeks and already my brain's falling out of my head.
Soundwave flies away at this point to return to the Decepticon base, and once we relay this to Megatron, he's like, great, cool, I got exactly what I wanted. Okay, so here are the Dinobot character traits. I'm gonna lay them out for you real easy, like...
So everyone knows, listen, here it is. Slag is hostile, Grimlock is arrogant, and Sludge is stupid.
Which, Kristen, I think is giving Slag and Grimlock too much credit and not giving Sludge enough credit.
I feel like they're all those things, but just slightly different levels of them.
Pretty, like, hostile sounds like he's not just, he's hot-blooded, he loves fighting. I feel like hostile isn't exact. I mean, we find that Slag is certainly the most hostile of the Dinobots through this episode, so...
Yeah, maybe it's more... All three of them are hostile, arrogant, and stupid, but each of them is one more... A little bit of those things.
There we go. They each have a different gold, silver, and bronze medal in those categories.
Yeah, exactly.
The plan is to turn the Dinobots against Optimus Prime here and have them help to get the energy from the meteor, I guess?
I mean, if there's some energy around, they might as well take it while they're doing their other stuff.
You may as well. And then we get a Megatron
And then
laugh.
we get a little bit of Megatron.
The Decepticons all fly out of the base and head to the area with the meteor. The Dinobots realize... I was originally going to write the Dinobots realize quickly, but I don't think the Dinobots do anything quickly. So they eventually realize that the jets screaming by are Decepticons, and we have 25 seconds of a laser fight with no dialogue.
Why jets shoot us? Them not jets. Them Decepticons.
Honestly, Kristen, the Dinobots working things out in their slow-ass logic. 1 takes up a lot of time in this episode, but 2 is very entertaining, so I don't care.
It is. I can't help but be like, I'll listen to them state the same thing twice in different ways over and over and over.
The Dinobots transform to try mouth lasers, but of course they can't hit fuck anything. They can't hit shit for some reason.
They're too stupid, this episode in particular. I guess the jets were making sure to stay out of biting distance.
Skywalker was just like, I ain't doing that shit again.
Absolutely not, no.
No.
I still got scratches from last time.
Megatron transforms here, and basically he's like, hey, Dinobots, hey, I don't want to fight. Why are you fighting us? Is it because your master Optimus Prime told you?
This plan goes different than I thought it would. I thought it would be a little bit more like, you know who's strong? Punches Starscream, kicks Skywarp, me Megatron strong. No, he goes, you Grimlock strong.
Basically, he gets destroyed by some mouth lasers, kind of shrugging it off, but the fusion cannon falls off his arm, because of course, once an episode, gotta have it happen.
To me, it looked like he tossed it off on purpose, like, I don't need this because you're stronger than me and I quit.
You're stronger than I, just as you are stronger than Optimus Prime. You're stronger than all Autobots, which is why you should be the leader.
Grimlock's like, hang on, me like your logic.
Me like cut of your jib. Me Grimlock strongest. Me Grimlock should lead.
And the others are like, yeah, that's, how about, wait a minute though, wait. If we make you our leader, I don't think Optimus will like that, he'll fight you.
And then Grimlock goes, you Slag like fight, right? And Slag is like, yeah. Oh,
Slag
fuck,
goes,
I get it.
Oh! Slag do like fight.
And Sludge is just like, alright, I'm cool with whatever.
That's fine.
So this takes about 45 seconds, and Megatron's like, okay, what'd you guys come up with?
He taps his watch like Judge Judy. You got something to say here? They're like, words make sense.
Autobots now enemies.
Optimus Prime will be destroyed.
End of segment 1.
I like how this is going so far.
You want Grimlock to usurp the throne of leader of the Autobots and just kind of
Yeah! Why wouldn't I? He'd be so bad at it. He would bite both of Wheeljack's ears right off of his head. Solve that problem for me.
I believe for a time in the Marvel Comics, I think after the movie when Optimus officially died, Grimlock does become leader of the Autobots for a time and nobody likes it.
Yes! I love that!
Start of segment 2, the Dinobots tell the kids at home exactly what happened at the end of segment 1, where Grimlock is going to be the new leader. They just got to beat up Optimus Prime first.
Okay, sounds good. See, I don't mind the Dinobots telling the kids what's going on, because maybe the Dinobots need a refresher, too.
I mean, when Optimus arrives later, he's just like, wait a minute, Slag, don't you recognize me? Like, as if the Dinobots absolutely forget who the other Autobots are.
They're pretty dumb.
Megatron says the Dinobots serve the Decepticon cause now, which I don't think is exactly correct.
I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They follow that logic.
In essence, but they're not Decepticons.
No, but it doesn't seem like, after they beat up Optimus, they're gonna be like, and now that guy who said he was weaker than me.
The Jets grab onto the meteor at Megatron's request and fly away with it.
They all have little hooks. They don't have, like, a net or anything. Seems like a stupid way to carry it.
And, I mean, you're riling up the shaky, explodey juices within that meteor, just doing it like that, but, you know.
Like a little piñata. Except a piñata that explodes from the inside.
So Megatron hooks his fusion cannon back onto his arm and suggests a plan of attack, which actually isn't much of a plan of attack. It's just it's just Optimus going, I'm gonna go check on the Dinobots, and then the Dinobots and the meteor are no longer there when he arrives.
Do you think he walks over and he's like, you know what, in retrospect, probably should have left someone with a brain.
This was a bad idea.
Shit. And I'm having 2 more of those guys made.
Back at the Autobot base, we see the Autobots banding together to make the new Dinobots. Wow, there's a lot of time wasted in this episode with the creation of the new Dinobots, like no dialogue there.
Nope.
3 or 4 separate robot fights.
Uh-huh.
The Dinobots saying 3 lines of dialogue over the course of a minute and a half.
I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking monkey's paw, Joe. Do I want there to be less stupid dialogue, or do I want there to be less dialogue? I'm leaning towards less dialogue.
Sparkplug is seen confused by blueprints, again playing up his character trait of being a dumbass here.
What?
And
What this is?
I fully expected Chip to roll on up and then just like turn it up, like he was holding it upside down, just turn it over. Like, here's how you read, you idiot. Thanks, son.
This is what happens when you only have a GED.
You become a hard hat man, and so is your son.
We're a bad dad.
Oh man, does Sparkplug want Chip to be his son because he is sad that he failed in raising Spike to be smart, so he's a hard hat man at 14 too?
Oh man, what a deep conversation. I mean, the question, does Sparkplug fail as a father? The answer is yes. Is he aware of it? I guess we'll have to keep watching and find out. Wheeljack
calls Optimus over, asking to bring Trailbreaker and Chip with him to his lab here, because after analyzing the meteor, Wheeljack realized, Optimus, it's gonna explode, so we gotta do something about that.
You know when you keep a calzone in the oven for too long? It's basically that, but immediate.
Wheeljack, I don't understand what a calzone is.
A robo-calzone. You remember.
Of course, my favorite snack on Cybertron.
Robo-calzone.
So, Kristen, in order to contain the meteor, that is why Trailbreaker is here, he spins... He spins, when before, we know Trailbreaker force field, we know that that's a thing.
Yes, are you proud of me for remembering, force field?
I am, that you're
the
learning.
The thing that Trailbreaker does.
Especially when that seems to be Trailbreaker's only character trait, and I don't think we're going to get an episode starring Trailbreaker.
No, I doubt it.
He spins, which causes the force field to go around the meteor and contain its explosion, and I don't understand if the animators know how powers work, Kristen.
Joe, now is a heck of a time to be bringing that up.
It's very possible that the script said something like Trailbreaker shoots a force field out of his arm, and so that was interpreted somehow as Trailbreaker spins and a force field comes out of him, somehow.
Maybe he just has a lot of different styles of doing it. He's flashing it up. Joe, I don't have any answers for you.
Optimus realizes that the meteor exploding would be a bad thing. So he's just like, okay, Autobots, you finish the Dinobots. I'm going to go check on the meteor because we can't have it explode. Especially when Grimlock has his face pressed directly against it, because I assume that's what he's doing.
He's probably licking it, so I want to go check on that guy. God, I love him.
So we cut to all the Autobots out on a ridge here to test the new Dinobots because they are completed. Snarl comes out first. He is the Stegosaurus, transforms and goes, I am Snarl, which is about as smart as he'll ever sound because they're not supposed to talk like that.
Why did you sound like Riot there, Joe?
I am Snarl.
Ugh, and call me so woo!
What analog Gem and the Holograms character can we give to Swoop, Kristen, who comes in Clash, of course!
Of course. The famous duo of Riot and Clash.
Coming in screaming.
That was Symbols?
Yes.
Arm bangies.
Arm bangies, Clash's famous weapon.
Yeah. Symbols is trademarked.
The new Dinobots transform, and Wheeljack starts explaining that Snarl draws his power from the sun. And we don't get anything else after that.
It's better than arrogant, I guess.
And then we get nothing about Swoop, so...
He flies! What else do you want from me, eh?
They order a bunch
How
of...
many of you fly?
Wheeljack and Ratchet order a bunch of Autobots to try to stop the Dinobots if they can. And they can't!
So we waste time doing this.
I wrote down some choice things that happen. Swoop fires a bunch of lasers that knock everybody over, and Kristen...
Pew! Pew!
Asswipe could not be happier that he finally gets to get some action because he has done basically nothing for the past 5 or so episodes.
Is he the one that screams like, I'm so excited to fucking fight?
Yes, that is correct. So he uses his jetpack to fly up and punch Swoop right in the snoot.
And then he gets his snoot hit right back.
He gets spike missiles up his nose from... Snarl fires, like, the tail of the Stegosaurus has the spikes on it, which turn into missiles for Snarl, I guess. And,
whatever.
yes,
like dinosaurs.
Go directly up Asswipe's nose and he falls to the ground.
Am I crazy or was Bumblebee not in this episode?
Bumblebee was... I don't think he was, actually. We can't make a teeth joke.
Weird. I was more thinking, like, thank God I can't make a teeth joke, because, again, I'm really painting myself into a corner as far as comedy goes.
Bumble teeth.
Bumble teeth. Teethleby.
Ironhide attempts to pick up Snarl by his tail, which has him starting getting wagged around here, and
Bluestreak... Just get his shit spanked.
Bluestreak comes up and goes, "Hang on, Ironhide! No, wait, I mean, hold tight! No, wait, I mean, zoink, Scoob! Whatever."
And then he just starts firing lasers, kind of at Ironhide and also Snarl?
Which do nothing anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Nah, their lasers have never hurt a single person in the entire world, so they're pretty much useless.
Bluestreak gets picked up by Swoop here as well, but Prowl quickly shoots him down, which causes Bluestreak to hit the ground, and then Ironhide to fall on the ground on top of him. And then, basically, Kristen, should the Autobots keep making things that can so easily kick their asses?
I'm sorry, have we mentioned a little man named Icarus before on this podcast?
In a real fight, we would have creamed them. Maybe.
That's a great way to look at it. I hope they don't turn on us! I mean, that was only 2 of them!
We cut to the city here. Optimus arrives to find there's no meteor and no Dinobots.
Ah, fuck!
He goes to Radio Autobot HQ, and that little thing happens that we saw before, where antenna come out of his helmet spike things, and a little, like, communicatey microphone comes out of the side of his helmet, but he quickly gets shot in the chest, and they retract, and we never see him again.
They get scared and they hide.
So Optimus is confused, because Slag shot him, and again, here's where he's like, Slag, wait a minute. Don't you hey, it's Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots.
Hey, remember that guy? Yeah. Then Grimlock shuffles on in, and he's like, oh, Grimlock, remember all right. Remember, Optimus is old, leader.
And then, Kristen, after that...
Get him!
After that big fight of the Dinobots and the Autobots, here we have another fight of Dinobots and Singular Autobot.
It's almost interesting because Optimus does an okay job taking on 3 of them until he doesn't anymore.
He does okay at first. We see that his gun can at least stagger the Dinobots when it wasn't able to do that 2 episodes ago.
No, they were literally unstoppable before. Apparently, their brain upgrades also made them feel pain slightly more.
The only thing of note that I took from this is Optimus runs behind just a standing brick wall and then throws it at Slag. Sludge stamps the ground. He has rumble powers, so he can make crevasses happen just by stamping his little feeties.
They dig him a cozy little grave.
Optimus starts, like, climbing out of the crevice here. He's like, no, we're friends. Please don't.
And Grimlock be like, goodbye, friend. You are weak, so you must be destroyed. He's putting him out of his misery. That's sweet.
Segment 2 ends here with Optimus getting blasted to fuck by all 3 Dinobots and then falling back into the crevice.
A part of me did expect them to start kicking dirt on top of him.
Just, like, transforming and just starting just, like, buried. Here we go. Goodbye. Segment 3 starts here. The Dinobots look over the crevice, and Sludge goes, Optimus Prime terminated?
But his hand starts to twitch. He's just being dramatic because, like, 2 seconds later, he sits up like, ah! Whoa, I'm awake.
Grimlock's speech pattern made for a confusing line here, where, of course, when referring to himself, he has to say, me, Grimlock.
Uh-huh.
So Grimlock goes, that Optimus must be stronger than me, Grimlock. And I'm like, okay, so Grimlock is admitting that Optimus is stronger than him. And then he says, think. So
No.
it can be interpreted in my mind either as Grimlock saying that Optimus is stronger than him, I think, or that Optimus is stronger than Grimlock thought.
I thought was what I was thinking.
Yes, I think that's how it's supposed to be, but the way that the line is read, just must be stronger than me, Grimlock, I think you get all of that part of it. That's like 90% of the sentence, and the think is, your
Honestly,
brain...
Joe, me, Kristen, don't care.
Your brain processes it in a certain way before you hear the entire thing.
Doesn't matter.
And Kristen, Slag is ready to give the killing blow here. He's just like, okay, cool, so we're gonna melt him down now, right?
Grimlock slaps his gun. Or fucking whatever.
Which still fires.
Why does he have a gun?
The Dinobots have gun toys, Kristen.
Why?
The Dinobots have guns and swords.
Double why?
But we really don't see them with the swords, so they have the guns.
I saw one sword later and I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking ask.
Snarl has a sword when he first shows up, which again, all the Dinobots come with a red glowy sword and a weird gun. And you only see the guns because they probably don't want to animate people sword fighting.
You know, Wheeljack, what dinosaurs have. Swords and guns!
It's much easier to have a static shot of all of the robots in a firing position that they could add laser effects on top of.
Whatever. You know what they could have done? Make them dinosaurs and have lasers come from their faces. Slag does ask why. Hello. You kill stealer? That's terrible. And Grimlock is like, me, Grimlock, don't know.
And Sludge goes, me, Sludge, don't know either. But me, Sludge, follow Grimlock.
Me, Sludge, down for whatever.
Optimus gets up at this point. He's still weak, of course, but he's just like...
He's just whining now.
Latent Autobot training in your Yeah, training. Okay, thanks. Yeah, all right, Optimus.
That makes it sound like they brainwashed them.
I mean, if you're gonna brainwash... Although it is kind of like a RoboCop dealie where it's like RoboCop can't hurt anybody who built him. So, and of course they're the bad guys. Kristen, you've never seen RoboCop.
No, I haven't. Here's the other thing. If they were going to brainwash them, why didn't they just make them smarter to begin with?
That's a very good question, Kristen.
Just a question, Wheeljack. Is RoboCop good?
RoboCop's a very good movie. I like it a lot. It's within my top 10 of movies, I'd say.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really want to see it that bad.
Though, Kristen, I will say that Optimus saying that, this is Autobot training, they're not cold-blooded killers. Keep in mind that Slag was literally about to cold-blooded kill Optimus here.
I'm willing to overlook that other shit, providing you don't kill me again.
Grimlock is the only one who's not a cold-blooded killer.
Wow, that's impressive.
Grimlock reports to Megatron that the battle is over, so they fly, because they're gonna just go and hang out with Megatron now, I guess. They don't mention, like, when they arrive later with Optimus, Megatron's angry that Optimus is still alive, but what was he expecting, I guess? What were the Dinobots?
Maybe the Dinobots just want to have someone tell them how strong and what a good job they did.
They do bring Optimus with them, yes. So,
look at this dead bird I killed.
The Decepticons are hanging out in a ravine. In the Transport to Oblivion ravine, presumably.
It's their favorite place to be.
Alright, a weird thing happens with an Energon Cube here, Kristen. Soundwave makes it. Pops out
Weird,
of his...
Are you saying it's not consistent how this happens?
He shoots it with his laser, and the fire energy from the meteor goes up into the Energon Cube somehow that is just floating there.
That null ray is sitting on Starscream's arm, never being used.
Starscream warns Megatron at this point, hey, this is really unstable. Do we want to be near this thing?
I know I'm a professional and very handsome warmongerer now, but I did used to be a scientist. I feel like I know what I'm talking about here.
And Megatron calls Starscream a little baby chicken fuckface.
I mean, he is.
The Dinobots arrive, and Megatron, yes, is none too happy that Optimus is still with them and in one piece.
Grimlock says, me, Grimlock, destroy Optimus Prime when I'm right.
So Starscream, colored like Thundercracker, because of course.
I noticed this a couple of times. I loved it.
He's just like, wait a minute. Don't listen to him, Megatron. He'll never destroy Optimus Prime because nobody follows through on their bullshit. Just look at me. Come on, I can't kill you. Why should you expect him to kill Optimus?
Come on, it's just logic.
Deep within his circuits, he still has the sentimental softness of an Autobot slave.
And then, what you say? Starscream gets shot.
Grimlock goes, no! and shoots Starscream right in the chest.
He's like, ow!
Really, I think, Kristen, every time Starscream gets shot, or most any time somebody just gets shot by one laser and falls over, I laugh at it.
It's it's like someone came over to them and just slapped them in the face, because they're just like, ah! Fine, okay.
And now, for the second time in about a minute, Optimus is just like, Megatron, the meteor, explode, bad, go away!
Megatron's like, nice fucking try, bozo!
Kristen, I mean, I can understand the messages coming from two people that Megatron does not trust.
Uh-huh.
But they're so different that I would maybe heed their words if two of these people who are trying to kill me come to the same conclusion independent of one another.
What should have made it go all the way into a stupid thing is for Megatron to then turn to Starscream and be like, oh, so you're colluding with Optimus Prime now to take my meteor away. I'm not that stupid. Ha-boom!
Exactly. Yes, that is what I would have liked to have happened. Just
That's how I would have written it.
transition. Back to the Autobot base, where Sparkplug and his new son Chip are discussing where Optimus is and why their calls aren't getting through to him.
Because he got beat up.
Wheeljack says that Teletran 1 found the meteor again because it was gone. Optimus apparently was able to at least relay that the meteor is gone. Where the fuck did it go? So they sent...
Joe, I have another question. So,
Yes.
why didn't they just have Teletran keep an eye on the fucking meteor?
We can, keep a Sky Spy there? That's a very good question, Kristen.
Just wondering.
Because apparently that's how they get a fix on it again. I'm assuming, because there's just a camera near the ravine that can see the meteor now.
I mean, hey, if they want to have the Dinobots given important jobs, try stuff out. Like, keep a nanny cam on them.
The meteor is way too far away at this point, Kristen. The Autobots will never get there in time, but for some reason, these big lumbering asshole dinosaurs are fast enough to get to the meteor because Spike goes, I know who can, and it pans...
No one else even tries.
It pans over. I mean, they get there eventually, but they were right that it's too late because all the Autobots arrive after the meteor explodes.
They didn't try.
Swoop and Snarl just leave. Now... The Dinobots can fly, Kristen, I'm pretty sure. Swoop can fly, which also begs the question then, why did they build a flying one when if all of them can fly anyway?
He flies more. Extra fly.
Because we see as well, Swoop carries Snarl in his claws in, robot form to the battlefield, even though I'm pretty sure we see Snarl flying with Swoop as they leave. Megatron at this point finally is just like, I think the energy in the Energon cubes is a little unstable. Starscream goes, you picked a hell of a time to notice, my man, as the cubes...
They just start exploding, and they knock Soundwave, into a fucking cliff face.
They explode... Soundwave is, leaning over the stack of Energon cubes, a big, 30 or 40 wide, and it just explodes and knocks him into the side of the ravine, yeah.
That poor guy. Soundwave has never complained about a damn thing in his life. What a trooper.
You would think, I mean, Kristen, we thought it was weird the one time when Soundwave screamed, but you'd think when shit explodes in his face, he'd be like,
Ow.
Fuck.
Shit.
Starscream berates Megatron some more here. Something along the lines of that.
Yeah, it sounds something like that. And then the Dinobots show up.
Yeah, the beration is cut off early as you're just like, wait, what the fuck?
I think their reaction basically might as well be, what the fuck is that?
I do like how we talk about a persistent terminology every now and again. The Autobots and Decepticons independently refer to Snarl and Swoop as new Dinobots! Not more Dinobots. New Dinobots.
Brand new ones. You can find them at Toys R Us. Kids, ask your parents for money.
In stores now.
Buy all our playsets and toys.
Megatron orders the old Dinobots to attack the new Dinobots, and then Kristen, in all capital letters, it's the triumphant return of, not just robot fight, robot dinosaur fight.
Yeah, this is the one I almost fell asleep during.
All I really wrote down is that Grimlock does get to chomp on another wing in this episode, but it is Swoop.
I'll take it.
And that Swoop takes the brunt of the punishment in the fight of getting...
He kind of gets his shit kicked in.
There is a point where Snarl fires a laser at Sludge, which bounces off him and hits Swoop, causing him to crash to the ground.
He's like, what the fuck? You weren't even aiming for me.
I mean, Swoop is the smallest of the Dinobots, so maybe he's the easiest. And flying, so you hit him in midair, he's gonna start crashing and bumping and going into things.
The same way that a reflector can really get the shit kicked out of him.
Oh, he's the jobber of the Dinobots. Oh no, poor guy.
That's pretty sad.
Optimus notices the meteorite is getting more and more unstable because it's got, like, electricity crackling around it and stuff.
You know,
And
electricity.
Grimlock is slowly, like, shuffling closer towards it during the fight.
He's getting hungry and it looks pretty good.
Starscream notices too, and him and Megatron exchange like a knowing glance at one another, like, like, uh-oh. And they just fly away and leave, when there are still other Decepticons there, by the way.
And they're like, well, if they don't see what's going on, that's their fucking problem. See ya.
Optimus rushes in and pushes Grimlock out of the way just as the meteor explodes, which it causes some kind of, like, whipping wind thing that knocks both Megatron and Starscream Colorless Thundercracker out of the sky.
And they do a little bit of a woo.
Everyone gets knocked on their ass either way. That's the takeaway from this.
It's pretty good. Thanks a lot, Megatron.
At this point, Grimlock realizes, hey, wait a minute. Wait a fucking second, Megatron! You tricked us!
Oops.
Especially now, like, Optimus saves his ass, and I think that should be the biggest, like, a cup of water to the face where it's like, wait a minute, oh no, I've been an idiot. Shit, my small brain.
Wheeljack, can you give me a bigger brain?
So we get a very scary-looking shot of the Dinobots, like, looming over Megatron, as he's just like, well, now you're gonna get your shit kicked in, and Megatron is just like, we gotta leave!
See ya!
So the Decepticons all retreat here, and Grimlock hands Optimus his gun here as a sign of goodwill, as the Autobots arrive to see everybody's alright.
Yay! Grimlock's like, oh, Optimus, can you forgive me, Grimlock? Me Grimlock jealous.
The meteorite menace is gone. Let's roll for home!
Me Grimlock take that as yes?
Roll for home!
Me Grimlock roll!
Me Grimlock walk.
Okay.
Kristen, I can't fucking... That's the end of the episode, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't fucking believe that Optimus would sandbag Grimlock like that.
He's just a little bit pissed off still.
I mean, Optimus has got to be the bigger man, Kristen.
Clearly he's not. I feel like we've learned that.
He's, I guess you could say it's still an early episode. Maybe Optimus's characterization isn't all the way there yet, but I feel like it deserves like a pat on the shoulder, like, oh, it's all right, good friend. I know that the Decepticons will try anything to get one over on us, but at the end of the day, we're all Autobots, and that's what matters. Transform and roll for home. Can
you imagine if, after Kimber's rebellion, Kimber was like, that was a mistake, I'm so sorry. Eric got in my head, could you ever forgive me? And Jem went, we have practice. I think that sends a great message.
That is essentially what happened here, yes.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, that was War of the Dinobots, and I honestly think at this point Optimus owes Grimlock an apology, quite frankly.
I wish everyone could just get along so I could stop being annoyed with how bad the good guys are.
Especially when there's so many of them. There are so many Autobots, they're bound to have a little bit of...
They're ripe for conflict.
A little bit of disagreement between them.
But then, like, show how they're friends.
And Kristen, you'd think the Autobots would learn. You'd think the Autobots...
What? Yeah, sure, Joe. Jem never thinks, but the Autobots learn.
Where's Jem's passport? What do the earrings do in the water? Why are the Autobots leaving the Dinobots in charge of things?
These infinite questions we have.
We'll get there eventually. I mean, it's all the way in fucking near the end of season 3, so not for like 2.5 years, maybe.
Whatever. I'll forget that I'm angry about it by then.
Now's the point in the evening where I can list off all of the fun contact things, where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at cwtapod. You can follow me at Octopus, which is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher Radio, on YouTube even. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about the super special Autobot training / brainwashing that won't make you kill indiscriminately, or when you should listen to people who are telling you about an exploding meteor.
Both important things to know. And check out my new podcast solo project, ASMR Relationships, the podcast equivalent of listening to gossip that has nothing to do with you. You can find a link to it in the episode notes, and I'd appreciate you giving it a listen.
And Kristen, next time, we have decided, we have conferred with the committee that we're not going to do 3 episodes as 1 episode again.
No, too much work.
Not so quickly after we did it the first time. Maybe we'll do more 2 episodes as 1 episodes, because there are a lot of 2-parters in Transformers, actually. But
interesting.
Next is
a lot of gem jams.
Next is part 1 of the ultimate doom.
Can't even begin to guess what this could possibly be about and why it needs to be 3 parts. I hope there's an alcoholic subplot.
Kristen, everyone's gonna have a lovely time, and they're gonna start their own radio station called K-Gem.
Yes! I like the sound of this.
For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next time for Doom!
3 parts of Doom are in the mail.
The first part of 3 parts of Doom are in the mail.
Well, they're gonna get to you incrementally, Joe.